am the chaos. All right, chat. The tube of views is up. All right. Ready? Y'all have been waiting for this intro. I want to see W. Shorns in the motherfucking chat.
Yes, so many W. Shorns.
Yes.
Jess and I had an idea, and he took it, and he fucking ran with it, and he nailed it.
Yep. He nailed it. For sure. Is Shorn here? Okay, he's here. I just wanted to make sure.
He's here.
All right. Welcome to the Misbehave Podcast. I'm Jess. I'm Nikki. This is season 1. Where are they now? Rapist edition. I literally just got the chills.
I know.
That shit is a bop. Like, literally, like, I don't know how many of you actually watch true crime podcasts, but the opening is everything. That's how you remember. Like, when I hear Bailey's, like, I know by the music when it comes on, right?
Absolutely.
So, W. Shorn. W.
Yes.
Shorn.
I love it so much.
Yes. So I don't know if you guys know what the inspiration for this podcast was, but since it's the first episode, maybe Nikki and I can give you a little breakdown of what our inspiration was and why we decided to do this. And a huge trigger warning for victims of domestic violence in the chat, or rape or sexual assault victims or survivors, whichever. They're your words. You claim them. Because this is not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy. Well, we'll make it fun, but it's not going to be easy to hear, right? So I don't know if, Nikki, you want to tell them a little bit why we wanted to do this?
So we're seeing in the justice system, when men get convicted of crimes like rape and domestic abuse, they are spending 0 time behind bars. And we really thought that we needed to review some of these cases because it, more often than not, the focus is on the fact that this is a young man, he has a bright future, and not what this young man with a bright future actually did. So we want to expose the actual horrific truth behind no jail time for men who abuse women and femme presenting people.
Yeah. And I 100%, Nikki, turn your volume up for your mic. I 100%, like, Nikki and I have had conversation after conversation after conversation after conversation of it's this man has a potential bright future, and in the instance of one of the cases, I'm not going to tell you who it is, the judge actually, or the prosecutor actually, said something along the lines of this man's life has been ruined beyond the victims. And so these are the things that we see in the judicial system often, and we're going to expose some of these cases. So today I'm going to be talking about Justin Snyder and his unwanted semen.
And I am going to be talking about Christopher Belter and his Party House of Horrors.
So Nikki's going to go first. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. We will take a break, I would say, in between somewhere, just to check in on everyone. Everyone get their water, get their snacks. Let's go. Hi, Samantha.
The mic fell. So I'm sorry for the weird dramatic pause because I don't have like a let me just do one more thing.
Turn your mic up on like the actual settings on your TikTok studios.
Yep. So they're saying it's fine on my side. I guess I'm just low on your side. How's that?
Better.
Okay. It's at like 400%. All right, guys. So,
Now it's a little loud.
no, of course, because
Because now you're in it.
I know. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Jess and I, just so you know, we have been
Everyone's saying it's
going.
better.
Okay, we have been researching for quite some time. We've been talking about this podcast for at least 8 months. So yeah, here goes nothing. So Christopher Belter, he was charged with third-degree rape, attempted sexual abuse, 2 counts of second-degree sexual abuse, and the crimes occurred over an 18-month span at parties in his family's mansion. And all of the victims were under the age of 18.
His
Um,
family's mansion, huh?
Yes, his family's mansion. And I just want to give you guys, I was able to find the aerial view
Oh, yay.
of this mansion.
We get to see the horror
Um,
house.
I mean, we do. We get to see the horror house. So, yeah, I want to. Where am I at? Am I
Do people
on
live in it
Firefox?
currently?
Yes, they are still his stepdad still lives there. So is his mother's and his father's
Ooh.
his stepfather's home. And they, of course, because why wouldn't they be rich and prominent, right? Right.
Hmm.
But let me see if I can. My Firefox, yeah. Nope. I apologize. Let's
Mhm.
link out. No, it's like all crazy back here.
Mm-mm.
Yep, I see it. It's like there
Yeah,
we
just
go.
pull it forward.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
Yep. So here is the mansion, guys. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so you guys. Well, that's me.
If you lock those, they won't move.
Yeah, I just did because it's crazy. But let me make this a little
Stop saying
bigger.
crazy.
I know. I apologize. It's bad. I'm working on it. So this mansion, I don't know if you guys can tell from this picture, but it is the home itself is actually like on 2 acres. The whole entire like physical home is on 2 acres. That's not even the land. That's the physically built house. That's the kind of money these folks had or have still currently. So, gives you a bit of a mindset. We'll get into the judge's mindset, honestly. Um, and so Christopher Belter is from Niagara County in Lewiston, New York, is where they're from, and both his mother and his father, as well as his stepfather, were all very prominent members of the community, which, as you'll see, is why he was able to get away with what he got away with for 18 months. 18 months.
Wow.
So initially, Belter was granted 2 years of probation. And it was by retired Judge Sarah Sheldon. And then Judge Matthew, Judge Matthew Murphy, J. Murphy III, picked up the case. He violated his probation. And
Of course he
so,
did.
yes, of course he did. Of course he did. So he violated his probation. And the way he did that was by viewing, first he installed software to defeat a court ordered content blocker. So his family members helped him install a piece of software that helped block the sites that he wasn't supposed to visit, and he
Oh,
viewed
wait, wait, wait.
pornography.
Wait. So he was not supposed to visit certain sites, and his family helped him unblock those sites?
Correct.
Because,
His
like,
stepfather specifically helped him install software that allowed him to view porn.
so, like, yay, dad, I guess, because
Right.
men are protectors, and, like, W dad for, you know, giving his son the ammo. No problem.
Right. So
It's
no
like
problem.
a drug. It's like a drug. Let's just give our children the drugs they're addicted to. Cool.
100%. Why not? Because why the fuck not?
Makes
So
sense.
instead of 2 years probation, what Judge Murphy did was take away his youthful offender status, gave him no jail time, and extended his probation to 8 years.
Wait, but he still got no jail time?
Correct.
And the probation is irrelevant because his stepfather was helping him. So what was he really doing on probation?
But it's 8 years long now.
Cool, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and we'll get into, I want to get into some of the information of the case before I tell you what the terms of his probation.
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah. So I want everyone to recognize, first of all, before we get into the details of this case, there were 4 teenage victims. And
do you
they
know the
were
ages?
Anywhere from 14 to 17. Christopher Belter
Wow.
was 17 and turned 18 during the time of these crimes.
In the 18 months.
Correct.
Oof.
Correct. It was his junior and senior year of high school where he was 18 and the 4 victims were anywhere from 14 to 17.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Mara Moore is the only victim who has come forward and allowed her name to be released. So the quotes and the details that I will be giving you are from her alone, because all other information has been redacted. So I have chosen to respect the victim's privacy and not release any of their statements, because I believe it's very important that we honor our survivors in these cases, especially teenage girls who were aged 14 to 17. And some of them, this happened in 2018. So these are just still very, very new adults. So I'm going to go ahead and respect their privacy. So the details of the case here. So here's some of the facts and findings. So at the time,
Trigger warning.
trigger warning for sure. At the time Christopher Belter committed the crimes, he was a student at Canisius High School. It was a private all-boys prep school in Buffalo, New York.
Shocker.
Yeah.
So shocked.
I want you to know, chat, that that school charges $15,000 at the time in 2018, charged $15,200 for each year of tuition. Additionally, another shocker, his family was one of the biggest donors of the private school.
Oh, who could have guessed that? Anyone?
Yeah.
Bueller?
Yeah, Bueller. So also he played varsity hockey, and he also played rugby. So he was a pretty popular kid, right?
So popular. He had access to 14 through 17-year-old
Exactly.
girls.
From a neighboring all-girls school, of which I will not name because it'll make it easier to find.
In this huge mansion.
Yes, in this huge mansion where they had so much money that paying $15,000 a year for private school was nothing.
And W dad for enabling him, right? Because if he enabled him after he was on probation, God only knows what he did during this.
Hey, man, like father, like son, I'm guessing, right? I'm guessing. Anyway, so his father, he's also Christopher Belter Sr. He's a trial lawyer, and he is he hmm he was and is still a partner at a very large law firm called Goldberg Segala,
Wait, the
and it's
same
a
law
high
firm?
same law firm.
Wow.
And his father makes the lowest paid partner at this firm makes more than $1 million a year. So that's and we'll get into what Mr. Belter Sr. is doing now in a little bit. But uh, Christopher Belter, and I'm gonna just give you, if anybody needs to leave or go, I want you to know that that is okay.
Correct. It's
Um,
like we're not going to be upset about that. You guys these are
mhm.
not easy stories to listen to, and we're doing an entire season on it. So don't overwhelm yourself now. If you need to step out, that's totally fine. If you need to keep the phone on silent and just, walk away, that's also fine. Whatever it is that you need to do for you, please take care of you. You got this.
Yep, because I'm about to get into the nitty gritty. So the house, before I get into the nitty gritty, the house itself stands in one of Niagara County's like most exclusive neighborhoods. So the richest of the rich in New York live in this neighborhood. It's tree line street, and the houses are set far back, which is why I wanted to show you that overview of the home so you could see they literally have their own street named Belter Street that goes all the way back to the home. It's about a quarter of a mile to drive down, and it's forested all the way around this home. And it's set behind iron gates. You need security access to get in. And it takes about 5 minutes to walk to the next closest building, which is the Niagara Falls Country Club. Um, so the house was known among students at the prep school that Belter attended as the party house. And before this case, 2 years before the first victim came forward in 2016, um, Belter's stepfather, James Sulo, was charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor for serving minor children alcoholic beverages. He
Super
was,
shocked.
yeah, guess what kind of alcoholic beverages they were?
What kind?
Jello shots.
Oh,
Jello
so they were
shots.
making them. They weren't just distributing like beers. They were
No, they
making
were
the alcohol.
making Jello shots, right?
Wait,
Belter's mother
it
made the
just
Jello shots.
clicked. Hold on, it just clicked. What was in the Jello shots?
Absolute.
Are you sure there were no drugs in them?
Well, that's alleged as well. That's alleged as well. Hmm. That
Wow.
is, yeah. Um, so for 2 years, the police were going to this home, and one of the parents involved in this was charged with contributing to the delinquency of the minor. Of course, the case was dismissed. James Sulo served no time, and things continued in the home. Um, Shocker, right? We've got three very rich people, three very rich adults. His mother, who was a prominent real estate agent, his stepfather, James Sulo, who owns a large manufacturing conglomerate here in the United States and Asia Pacific, and his father, who is the COO of a very prominent law firm, right? So New York police didn't start investigating the parties uh, until they received an additional tip through the child abuse helpline in September
Ooh.
2018.
So somebody called in. Was it one of the parents, or was it one of the?
That the it's anonymous, so none of
Oh,
that information was released.
it
It's
did.
an
They didn't use it
anonymous
in the
tip.
trial.
Yep. Yep. No, they did not. It was they did play the anonymous tip call recording. It was a woman who called. It sounded like an adult woman. I didn't save the clip of the audio because it's really bad, and I did not clean it up. Nor did I think to ask, like the master of all things audio, Shorn, at the time to
Yeah.
clean that clip up for me. But I need to find a fantastic way to compensate Shorn for his time, for all of the things that he's done with us, and see if he can work with me on the future, or Jess and I both on the future on some of these. But all of Belter's crimes, I need you to know, happened in this mansion and followed a specific pattern. And there are alleged to be more teenage girls who suffered at the hands of Belter, but these specific victims, it was 4 separate occasions over 18 months. So the first victim, who is unnamed, this was February of 2017. She came forward after our final victim. So she let police know that Belter attempted to grope her and kiss her while she was passed out. She was unconscious. When she awoke and tried to
Ew.
stop him, Belter, instead of stopping while inside of her, said just a little bit more and continued until she was finished.
Wow.
That's kind of most of her testimony was redacted, but that's her story. Victim number 2 was November of 2017. After smoking a cart that she believed was just marijuana, she passed out. She now believes that it had to be something other than marijuana because she has never passed out before. And you and I both know, Jess.
Say Mary Jane.
Mary Jane. You and I both know that it takes a lot more than that to make you get to the point where you're so passed out that you wake to someone penetrating you. So she was in such a state that Belter had removed her clothing and she woke to him penetrating her. So it is alleged that it was something more than that, but they obviously did not recover it, and that could not be proven.
Yeah, and it was probably so far along that they couldn't even do drug tests in order to figure out what was in their system.
Correct.
Because it was over a period of time.
Right. The third victim was in December of 2017. She gave a little bit more information. She stated that she often went to parties at the Belter's home where she was given alcohol, Mary Jane, and a prescription that is used for treating ADHD. You can use your own imagination with that. She fell asleep in one of the bedrooms at the party, and she woke up to Belter touching her genitals. When she asked what he was doing, he said looking for a phone charger. She let that go and then went to a different party later that month. And again, same scenario. She passed out and awoke to Belter penetrating her. Victim number 4 was one of the youngest victims of Belter at the time, not during the time of the major assault that she came forward of, but when they started dating.
They were dating.
Yes, so the 4th victim was dating Belter. Before the assault, she was previously in a sexual relationship with Belter while under the age of consent. The age of consent in New York is 16. Yeah. So she was under the age of consent. They broke up in August of 2018. She was still friends with Christopher Belter Jr.'s sister, and she had stayed overnight with Belter's sister due to a trip that they were going to be taking to Chicago. They had a flight to catch to Chicago very early in the morning, and Christopher Belter asked her to come up to his room, and this is where it's going to get a little bit more in depth here, so that they could talk. He then asked her to sit on his bed. She refused. He threw her onto the bed, tore off her clothing, held her down, placed his hand over her mouth so she could not scream. And Belter has admitted that during the assault, he told her to stop being a baby, and if she would just stop resisting, it wouldn't hurt so much.
Steffi said, more bears, less men. I couldn't agree more.
Could not agree more. So that is the crux of the case for the stories of
8 years of probation.
8
years
of probation.
4 stories. 8 years.
4.
And probation.
It's alleged, probation, and it's alleged that there are more victims who were too scared to come forward because of the prominence of the family,
the money,
in the
community. Of course,
right, and because of this exact outcome.
So where are they now?
Well, let's get into that. So Belter is still serving his probation. And he still lives in the home, not the home where the crimes occurred, but he does still live in his father's home. So here are, buckle up, guys, because this is so fun. It's so fun.
It's about to get weird.
So the probation restrictions are remain in Niagara County, have employment or be a full-time student, live with his parents. He has an order of protection by all victims, no contact with anyone under the age of 18.
Or any woman at all?
Just anyone under the age of 18. No children. No internet access unless there's a stipulation. No internet access unless given permission by probation. No overnight trips. No visiting locations where minors are present unless probation agrees. And random polygraphs and drug tests.
Lauren, I couldn't agree with you more. Lauren said, what do you want to bet that the dad also committed these atrocities?
We'll get into that. We are going to get into that. I do want to ask you, Jess, did you notice what is missing from that list?
Which the sex offenders list.
Correct.
Yeah, because they took his useful status away.
Yeah,
but he originally got it in the first place.
Mm-hmm. But after his probation is done, he has no continuing upkeep.
So he doesn't have to register as a sex offender.
Correct.
Perfect.
While he's on probation, yes, but he does
How much
not
you want to bet we've debated him before?
Oh, Jesus. He has, luckily, I don't think so. He is.
Maybe. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He is still living with his father.
The one who gives him access to porn?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you mean?
Yeah, I want to get into, so the judge was Matthew J. Murphy. So where is Matthew J. Murphy now? Thankfully, he is deceased.
I hope he died a horrible death.
He died after a short illness on
How old
October,
is he? 105? Yeah.
He was 70. Yeah. Shit. He was 70. He died October 10th, 2022 after a short illness. A
short illness, not a long one.
A short illness.
Painful?
So
the chat
hopefully it was painful. Yeah, I hope it was painful. I only have 7 people over here on my side, so my chat is not popping off too hard. But Uh, so he was quoted as saying that he prayed. He prayed. So his exact quote: "I am not ashamed to say that I actually prayed over what is the appropriate sentence in this case, because there was great pain, there was great harm. It seems to me that a sentence that involves incarceration or partial incarceration isn't appropriate."
Oh, was that the answer that Jesus himself gave you? I can find a more appropriate one. Death. Sorry. Go.
The judge also added that Belter had been recently treated with medication to lessen his libido.
Oh.
And
Okay.
that the probation was already like a sword hanging over his head for the next 8 years.
Not like the sword over the head of the victims.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think.
So the. Go ahead.
We need this guy. I don't think Jesus or God correctly answered his prayers.
I agree. The community also agrees with you. Due to the highly controversial ruling, a petition to remove the judge was filed on November of the same year that the sentence was handed down. The judge, of course, did die shortly thereafter. So the petition was never completed. We don't know whether Judge Murphy would have been removed or not, but and you can review that petition on change.org. The community did rally behind these women and say no. Something that impacted me the most. So the victim's attorney was Stephen Cohen, and
that last name,
Cohen. So Stephen Cohen, after the trial, he was interviewed by reporters, and what he said as a rich white man kind of blew me away. He said, "I've been a trial lawyer for over 30 years. If this individual was not a rich white kid from a privileged background in an influential family, he would be in prison right now. The Belters' residence was known as a party house, but it was a trap for teenage girls who were groomed with drugs and alcohol, then abused. He is privileged. He comes from money. He is white. He is being sentenced as an adult, which is appropriate. But he's an adult who was able to get away with these crimes without doing jail time, and this is a great injustice." The implication there, what the implication there, and as a trial lawyer, Mr. Cohen knew what the implication is as well. Mara, one of the victims, she spoke to the judge before she got to read her victim's impact statement to the judge. And she said, "I stand before you now asking you not to let this be the end, not to let this rapist walk away from 2 years probation with a clean slate. I'm asking you because you have the ability to save future girls. This is a pattern. He will do this again. You have the ability to put this fire out or continue letting it burn." She was 17 at the time she gave that statement. She also, after the trial, after she heard the ruling, she had just finished throwing up in the bathroom before she was interviewed, because why not? Why wouldn't you be, right? Your rapist just gets to walk free. she stated, I completely broke down. It was like I was being victimized all over again. It's just going to make him more comfortable doing this in the future. This is a pattern. He will offend again. I will have to live with this for the rest of my life, knowing that he's walking the streets and that another girl can become a victim of his any day now. It's terrifying. I don't think that any of the victims or myself will find closure until we know that he is locked up. And the judge failed us here. He victimized us all over again. He's putting us through hell. He is putting us through hell. She also went on to say, if I were to be someone viewing this right now, looking at this case as a victim of rape or sexual assault, I mean, I would think, what's the point in coming forward? Why put yourself through the painful experience of testifying when there's not going to be a good outcome?
And it's so true.
100%. Because what did she gain? She lost everything. She lost everything. Her parents, Mark and Stacy, had reduced income because of all of this, because of Mara's mental health. Mark ended up instead of his company firing him, they did the ethical thing and ended up laying him off. And then Stacy, her mother, had to reduce her work hours because of the increased care that their daughter needed after the crime occurred, and from incurring medical expenses. I'm not going to go into the graphic details of what those medical expenses were, but you can imagine what those medical expenses were for, what the hospitalizations of Mara were for. I don't have any information about what exactly Mara is doing today. While she chose to be the only victim to put her name out there, it was because she wanted people to know what the impact of Belter's actions were and what Judge Murphy's actions were for victims who choose to come forward. So that's the only reason she did that. She went on a few interviews and just wanted to allow her voice to be heard for the other victims. She stuck her neck out to be the voice for everyone that Belter hurt. But she has now since kind of retreated and decided to stay very private. So after the trial, Belter's mother, her name is Trisha Vacanti, his stepfather, Gary Sulo, and I think I said James earlier, but it's Gary J. Sulo, a family friend, Jessica M. Long, and they were all charged, as well as Belter Sr., with supplying the victims, three 16-year-olds and one 14-year-old with alcohol, Mary Jane, and other drugs on different dates from 2018 to 2017 to 2018.
Did they get charged after the trial?
They were charged after the trial. That's correct. So they were charged both civilly and
criminally.
Correct. They all pled not guilty.
Of course they did.
Initially. And then there were lawsuits filed by two victims' parents that further alleged that Belter was enabled by his mother, Trisha Vacanti, and her husband, Gary Sulo, with one complaint accusing of Vacanti of grooming the victim and other girls to be prey for her predator son. That's a direct quote from the lawsuit.
Wow.
Suits, yeah.
But he still got to keep his job at the prestigious law firm.
He sure did. He sure did. Yeah. And the lawsuit accused them of knowingly and willfully failing to prevent or report any incidents, and additionally making said incidents possible. Um, Mara's parents, in their civil lawsuit, are quoted as saying Vacanti cultured a relationship with Mara and with all the
Okay,
characteristics
love
of
you,
a
Jamie.
peer to peer friendship, including mutual exchange of confidential information with the intention of grooming her to be prey. So, Trisha Vacanti, Christopher Belter's mother, who was old enough to be her mother, engaged in a peer to peer friendship. She was texting her, she was going shopping with her, she was talking about boys with her. She basically put herself in a position to be like a girl's girl with her. And I don't know, Jess, is there a case that you can think of that's reminiscent of that, where that happened?
Of the mom being friends with,
Or any adult being allegedly friends with the victim? It's a big one.
n- not off the top
The
of my
E
head, I know many
files?
of them. Yeah, I
The
mean,
E
well, many of
files?
them.
Yeah.
It's
That
you can't
happened there
really
too,
pinpoint.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, she offered a space for her.
Feels very
She's like,
familiar.
yeah, very very familiar. Made sure that the girls know that that was a safe space to do drugs, consume alcohol, listen to music, talk about their sexual activity, just all of those things. She fostered that environment. So Trisha Vacanti, let's get into that. So she also died um, in July of 2022. So the kind of wild thing about that is it was unexpected and the circumstances are a little murky, right? And the coroner has refused to provide any information regarding Trisha's cause of death. And enforcement did not require the coroner to perform an autopsy. And all of her charges were dropped at the time of her death. So, and I have no more information on that, but other than the circumstances of her death are suspicious, but local police did not require an autopsy.
Weird.
Yeah,
Suspicious, but not
super.
autopsy worthy.
Yeah, yeah, suspicious but not autopsy. So Gary Sulo, who is the owner of the party home, he is the president and CEO of Tromec LLC. It is a manufacturing conglomerate that operates 12 manufacturing facilities and 5 distribution centers across North America and Asia Pacific.
Shorn got it.
Shorn got what?
He knew. He said that
Oh.
last name is familiar. Is that the same family that made that made Oxy?
Yep. There it is. There it is. So he at first pled guilty or not guilty, then flipped and did end up pleading guilty for a plea agreement. He pled guilty to 2 counts of child endangerment, and he served 3 years of probation. He was allowed to do that in his summer home in Florida. He served no jail time and still owns the home where the crimes were committed. The DA's office did request jail time, but were denied by the judge. Different judge. I was not able to find a name for that. Jessica Long, she was a neighbor of theirs. She lived down the street on the other side of the clubhouse, who was there partying with them all the time. She was also charged with supplying alcohol and Mary Jane to the teenage girls. She did plead guilty to 1 count of unlawfully dealing with a child. So she was charged with distributing to a minor, and she received an unconditional discharge.
Of course she did.
Right. Christopher Belter Sr., he is the most successful of all of these adults. He actually just won a prestigious award this year. wouldn't you know it, he was awarded Buffalo Business's first 2026 Power 250 award. So even though his son was found guilty of sex crimes and lives in his home, and he was charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor, he won a prestigious award from the city of Buffalo, New York. He is the COO and co-chair for Goldberg Segala's business and commercial litigation and construction practice groups. He also oversees all aspects of the firm's administrative, client services, culture, resources, and strategic growth, and all charges against him were dropped without discrimination.
This is my shocked face. This is my shocked face.
Yeah, super shocking, right? Super shocking. That's I mean, I know that was long and lengthy and it was a lot, and but we have one person who died under suspicious circumstances, who was not investigated, and then two very powerful men who made it possible for their son and stepson to groom and rape young girls. And none of them served a day behind bars at any time.
This is America.
Right away, you just said, "This is America."
America. Like, what else do you fucking say? Like, what else do you
I don't
fucking
know.
say? Sadly,
This
are we
is-
surprised? No.
No, but what we can do is keep talking about this, right? And say, hey, look, we're not just sitting here looking cute on screen telling you that men hate us. You are telling us that you hate us. And so is the system. And we're not going to stop talking about it.
The system, in which, by the way, allowed Justin Snyder and his unwanted semen to walk with no jail time. So, for those of you who are just catching up, who are just checking in, this is episode 1 of the podcast. I promise you we're going to get the time a little bit shorter. Where it's hard for me to sit still. So if you see me fidgeting, it has nothing to do. It's very hard for me to sit still in instances where I have to focus directly. So if me not sitting still bothers you, I will, I don't give a fuck. Scroll out. I don't know what to tell you. I'm here.
Scroll out.
It's
Move
our
the fuck
podcast.
on.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. But if anybody needs to take a break, go to the bathroom. We will take a short intermission before we head into the next story, which happened in Alaska. And if you guys think that this stuff only happens in populated states, or if you think this only happens in one place or another place or more often in this place, you're fucking wrong. You're wrong. It happens everywhere, not just all over the country, but all over the fucking world. And even there were people who were even messaging me like, hey, I have somebody in Canada. I'm like, yeah, let me know the laws. Let me know what the laws are there. Sure. Because it doesn't just happen in the United States. It happens all over the world. So take a short intermission, take a break, do what you guys need to do. I'm going to play our song one more time because it's fucking phenomenal. So for those of you who are tuning back in, who are just tuning in or haven't heard it yet, we're going to play it. And then we will get into Justin Snyder. Yay. Can't wait for this one. Welcome to the Misbehave Podcast. I'm Jess. I'm Nikki. This is season 1. Where are they now? Rapist edition. Wow, Leto, that's wild. That's got to be rough. All right, thank you guys for being here. If you guys can continue to keep tapping this screen, we are at 73,000 taps. You guys rock. Today is episode 1, season 1. So this is our very first show. Thank you guys for being here. And we're going to jump right into the next person who I'm just going to show you a little picture real quick of this man because I just need you to envision this story in your head. Trigger warning, of course, for, people who are victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, rape, or any of those things. But I just want you to envision this. This is Justin Snyder. Justin Snyder at the time of the attack was 34 years old. The date of the attack was August 15th, 2017. And he is found guilty of kidnapping a woman, choking her until she passed out, and then jerking off on her. Not only did he jerk off on her, he then handed her a tissue and said, "I wasn't going to kill you, but you needed to think I was going to in order to do it."
I'm sorry, what?
Yep. So the victim at the time was this is how they quoted her, how she quoted herself, was as a Native American woman. She was 25 years old. She has chosen to remain a Jane Doe, and she's done that because she was too afraid for her name to be out there, because for those of you who don't know, Alaska is not a very big place, and she thinks that people would be able to find her easily. In 2017, 34-year-old Justin Snyder, who was a husband and a father at the time, which both of those things have remained unfounded. I cannot see. This is from his self-proclamation at the court date. He said as a father and a husband, but I cannot find the wife's name or any child therefore of. He worked as an air traffic controller at the Ted Stevens International Airport in Anchorage, Alaska. And at the time, he asked the 25-year-old woman that he didn't know if he can give her a ride. She said yes. She climbed into his vehicle. He then proceeded to drive to her destination, but instead of driving straight to the destination, he veered off and took her to a remote area. He grabbed her, he strangled her, he threatened to kill her if she screamed. She passed out, and when she woke up, he unzipped his trousers and masturbated on her. Then gave her a tissue to clean off his semen and told her that he hadn't really intended on killing her, that it was just a threat to keep her quiet. She grabbed her belongings, fled from the vehicle, but as she was fleeing from the vehicle, imagine a woman, right, or a man, imagine somebody just being sexually assaulted in that way, that strange, awkward way, getting out of the vehicle after just being jerked off on, thinking you were going to die, then taking down the license plate. Like, her mind was like, I need to get this license plate. And when I read that, I was like, whew, see, this is why women are prepared.
For her. Absolutely.
This is what we're told about our whole lives, chat. This is what we're told about. She got the license. She noted his license plate number down. The victim said she could not fight him off because he was too heavy and he had been choking her and she thought she was going to die. When she regained consciousness, that happened, and he wanted her to believe this was another quote by her. She had several quotes, so I just wanted to put both of them in there because they were both a little tiny bit different, but they had both been quoted by her, that he wanted to be sexually fulfilled. If you guys don't know, how about you just find a girlfriend and be a regular ass person? I guess that's his sexual fulfillment, which is why men like that need to be in jail. So
I have zero of the words.
It's
none of them.
It's wild. So I don't know if you guys understand law in Alaska, because who the fuck thinks about Alaska as a place that people live? Apparently people live there. I don't understand why. It's really expensive. The food is really expensive and it's cold. But in Alaska, jerking off on someone, even unwanting, is not a crime. It's not a crime. So the victim reported the assault as well as the license plate number to the police, that she identified him from a photo lineup. He was arrested at his job as an air traffic controller at Ted Stevens Anchorage, in which the judge will later say that that's why he suffered more than the victim did.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Yep, he was charged with 1 count of felony kidnapping, 3 counts of assault, as well as 1 misdemeanor count of harassment involving offensive contact with fluids.
So he was, wait, let me get this straight. He was charged with basically spitting on her.
Yes. The highest charge in that entire thing was the felony kidnapping. The assault didn't carry as much crime. It's the felony kidnapping. So that's what he had to, that's the big one, right? He faced at the time of his indictments 5 to 99 years. So, I don't know if you guys are going to let's take a guess. Matter of fact, let's take this off the screen so you guys can't see it. Let's take a guess. How much time do you think he spent in jail?
Like overall, including any like overnight stay or sit in jail?
Yeah. It's not 0, guys. I'll give you that. It's not 0.
No, Madness, I doubt it was 6 years. I doubt. Very seriously. I don't know if your chat has. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it was 24 hours max.
Okay. We'll get there. So the trial started on September 24th, 2018. The judge was Court Judge Michael Corey. He presided over the hearing. Michael Mabry appeared for Snyder as his defense attorney, and the assistant district attorney, Andrew Ganick, appeared for the prosecution. So the Alaskan Star reported that Snyder's victim, described as a 25-year-old Native American woman, I'm just going to say indigenous, a 25-year-old indigenous woman, was not at the hearing, according to the police, that she said that she had been traumatized to the point where she could hardly speak after the assault. So she did not want to show up for court. The outcome of the trial, so he had spent 378 days on house arrest. He spent a total of 1 month in jail. He received a sentence of 2 years with 1 suspended, which resulted in him walking away on probation. He received credit for his 378 days on house arrest he had served while he was out on bail. Assault in the second degree is a Class B felony, which includes strangling someone among the crimes included in the definition. He was only sentenced to 2 years in prison. One was suspended, but because he was given credit for the year on house arrest, he served no additional jail time. 0. He is required to continue wearing an ankle monitor and participate in a treatment program. And guess what, Nikki? Guess what's missing from that list?
He also doesn't have to register as a sex offender.
He sure the fuck doesn't.
Charged with spitting on someone.
He sure the fuck doesn't. He is not required to register as a sex offender. He did lose his job as an air traffic controller. He was permanently barred from any federal future employment. So the comment from the prosecutor in this specific case was, the judge said to him, which I'm going to play a little snippet. The judge said, "This can never happen again," is what he said to him. In a courtroom. In the courtroom, said to him, this can never happen again.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thanks, Dad. What?
Right. The prosecutor said, "That's the reason why I made the deal that I made, because I have reasonable expectations that this won't happen again. But I would like the gentleman to be on notice that this is his 1 pass. It's not really a pass, but given the conduct, one might consider it." The fuck do you mean?
So the judge basically is like, "Hey, guy, please don't kidnap people and accidentally masturbate on them."
Yeah, like, let's not do this anymore ever again. The one thing that I really want to, before I play the parts of the case, which is fucking abhorrent, I can't even understand, the Superior Court Judge Michael Corey works now because there was a public outcry in Alaska. I mean, public. There were articles, there were campaigns against him. I mean, campaigns. There was an entire Facebook campaign of a group of women who started this vote no on Judge Michael Corey. And do you know who started an opposition campaign? Take a guess, chat. It was the opposition campaign was vote yes on Michael Corey. Very clever, very original. It was his wife. The judge who sentenced a fucking man who strangled and masturbated on a woman after kidnapping her. His wife started a campaign against the campaign to get him off of his seat because he didn't deserve to be a judge anymore. He did end up losing his seat in November 2018 as the re-election after public backlash over the controversy plea agreement he approved in 2018 assault case. His term officially ended in February 2019, but ladies and gentlemen, that does not stop him. Former Alaskan Superior, of course not, court judge works as an attorney and mediator at the Anchorage law firm. It's called the JDO Law. German, Dungeon, and Owens PC. Does that not sound familiar to all of you?
First of all, yes, he's a family mediator. Oh, that gave me the heebie-jeebies. I don't love that.
He maintains his active license with the Alaskan Bar Association with no history of public disciplinary action, and holds a AV permanent rating by Hubble and the highest peer rating for legal ability and ethical standards.
Ethical standards. The highest rating for ethical standards. That's
correct.
Cute.
I just want it to be noted one more time that the prosecutor who was supposed to be prosecuting Justin Snyder had made a very clear, distinct comment. Let me see if I could find the specific comment. Actually, we'll just listen to it.
Totals, I have not done the math, but being associated with felony can make the jury to hear from folks who wouldn't voluntarily come down to the courthouse. You could subpoena people as to their positions.
The state's concern, he wasn't just out of custody on EM. He actually engaged in treatment. He was also assessed by...
I'm sorry, what kind of motherfucking treatment is there for rapists? What treatment? Is it the treatment that you don't spit on people? Because that's what he was charged with.
Right.
A specialist that I happen to have great respect for is Dr. Zelli, who testified for me before, so I'm very familiar with his work and his...
Can you mute your mic while you're typing?
Nobody can give 100% assurance that that Mr. Snyder will not do something like this again, but Dr. Zelli provided me with as reasonable assurances as one can.
Okay, it's the volume is just very low on this, so every time you unmute it like makes it. So wait, hold on a second. He said nobody can guarantee that this man won't reoffend. You know what would have guaranteed he wouldn't offend again, chat? I don't know. Jail.
Jail time.
Death. Castration. I have plenty of options. There are plenty of options, chat.
Maybe that Mr. Schneider represents a low risk, given his lack of the history and the steps that he's taken in aiding his rehabilitation and what he is prepared to do further during his probation. Now, so that's the reason why I've made the deal that I've made. Rehabilitation here is main issue.
This is the prosecutor, by the way. This is the prosecutor who's prosecuting him. This is Ganek speaking right now.
One destroyed his life. That's what he did. He had an American dream type of life. and he decided to destroy it. I don't know if he decided to do it is a good way to put it, but that's what he, in fact, did.
I don't know how to turn the volume up on this. It doesn't give me the option to turn the volume up. So, Nikki, just mute for a second because you're the background. Sorry, the cat.
And he's got a long road back. And he will never have a position with the federal government that he used to have. So there's basically life punishment for his action that goes way further than a felony conviction. But so the state is satisfied that he began his rehabilitation, and it probably is a good idea for him to hear it from me. If he ever comes back, there will be no discounts of any kind. For as long as I work in this office, his case will likely to come back to me, and there will be no discounts, because one time is a mistake, and if he ever comes back, it's not going to be a mistake.
I'm listening to this with you in real time, chat. Just so you know,
He
I'm listening to this with you in real time because I wanted to know. I know some of the clips. I pieced out some of it, but I did not listen. What do you mean the motherfucking first time is a fucking mistake?
So, like, is that like when you trip and fall and accidentally ejaculate unwanted on somebody that you kidnapped? So that's how that works? You just, like, trip and fall and that happens?
That's the prosecutor, chat. That's the person who's supposed to be prosecuting this man. I'm done.
I hope it doesn't happen. That's the reason why I made the deal that I've made, because I have reasonable expectations that it will not happen. But I would like the gentleman to be on notice that that is one pass. It's not really a pass, but given the conduct, one might consider that it is. And I'm going to ask this court to accept the Rule 11 that I've made. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Granick. Mr. Mobley, comments from the defense.
Well, Your Honor, I agree in large part that this deal wouldn't be before you in the way that it is in a full Rule 11 if the state hadn't been adequately assured that this is appropriate, not just for Mr. Schneider, but for society. Mr. Schneider, I think, embraced this path very early on and has worked diligently at the efforts that got us to where we're at. There were obviously defense opportunities available to me. I could have pursued, for instance, a number of defenses and characterizations. Mr. Schneider directed me not to. I think he very early on empathized with LK, and that was very telling because the very qualified professional with whom we've been meeting was surprised. I mean, that's a rarity in his work. And so that bode well for Mr. Schneider and his prospects. And while the state may characterize it as destroying his life, I think what it did was it caused a reset. It allowed him an opportunity to deal with something that could have caused problems down the road or far worse. And it's allowed him the last year to focus on himself and the things that are important. And he now has a much better prospect of a very good future with his family and his...
What about the victim? What about her future? What about her?
So I'm so confused. Like, they keep saying this word reassured and things that he did to reassure, but they don't talk about any of those things. Are any of those things included in the case file?
No. So the main reason that they didn't talk about the victim and they talked about this in the very, very beginning is because she wasn't there and they made attempts to reach out to her, to contact her, and her phone, she changed her phone number because she didn't want to hear about it.
Wife and while he may not pursue whatever ventures he had been on, he's got the rest of his life ahead of him. I think he'll successfully complete probation with no incidents, that he's going to benefit from not only the efforts up till today, but those that are encouraged by the probation conditions going forward. And I think that this is the appropriate resolution. And
For
ask that
whom?
you accept it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moberly.
He has
Mr. Schneider,
the theme.
you have an opportunity.
For whom? The appropriate response for whom?
At this
Like,
point in the
what
proceedings.
is this weird theme of he's got his whole life ahead of him? When do they not have their whole lives ahead of them? We all fucking have
He
our
could have
whole
had his
lives
whole
ahead
life
of us.
ahead of him in fucking prison.
Like what's called an allocution. Most folks don't use that word in their day-to-day life. All it means is that if you wish, you certainly can make a statement here in a few seconds. But having said that, having
and he
extended
does.
that option or that opportunity to you, I want to make sure you understand. I don't need to hear anything. I'm not expecting. It's not a prerequisite for this to go forward. And in fact, if you were to choose not to say anything at all, that certainly would be acceptable. I wouldn't hold that against you. But if there is something you'd like us to hear,
Can you hold
it's
the
now your
jerking
turn.
off on the victim? Can you hold
Mr.
that
Mobley
against
summed
him?
it up pretty well. I would just like to emphasize how grateful I am for this process. It has given me a year to really work on myself and become a better person and a better husband and a better father, and I'm very eager to continue that journey.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate those comments.
There you have it,
concurs. I know of only a very small slice of your life experience. I'm taking a few extra moments to discuss these items in this way, to drive home the fact to the defendant that this can never happen again.
Scary.
We live, generally, there are those who can never forgive, but we live in, quite frankly, a very forgiving society. Folks come down
For
on
who?
alternative.
For the rapists. For the rapists. I'm not going to play anymore because I think it's disrespectful, quite frankly. So, Justin Snyder was, he has been protected on the internet. I have tried, and I mean everything. Nikki knows, I sat here for hours trying to find this man. And because he did not have to register as a sex offender, there is no record of him. I don't know what state he moved to. He definitely does not live in Alaska anymore. I have no idea what state he lived in. I have no idea his wife's name. I have no idea. There is nothing. He could, right now, be raping someone, and we wouldn't know.
I mean, what would you do if you were this guy, right? The first thing you would do is change your fucking name. First thing.
Here we have an hour. We've been live for almost an hour and a half, and we're going to end at 1 minute. I mean, an hour and 30 minutes. But here we have a man who was a boy who turned into a man, right? From 17 to 18, who only 4 women came forward out of the multiple of victims that he probably attempted to have, where his father, his mother, and his stepfather, right? His stepfather or his uncle? Stepfather helped him rape women, and another one who the judge, the prosecutor, and the defense attorney all said he has his whole life ahead of him, and that this was just a mistake. If you tell me it's not all men ever again, I promise you.
Like, I want you guys to understand that the number of these cases that there are, we could literally just do a podcast with multiple seasons and innumerable episodes. But we are doing 1 season and we are limiting the episodes. And I do apologize. I felt I didn't realize that all of the amalgamation of information that I was able to find, because Mara was so active and gave so much information. I didn't realize that it was going to take up so much time, so I apologize, and I kind of filled it, but I felt that it was very important for her information, and what happened with the people that were charged with aiding and abetting happened as well.
Yeah, and I think if we're going to walk away from this with anything, chat, like, I know it's not comfortable, and I know that there's a lot of people who are triggered, because I sure as fuck am. And I don't necessarily think, and Nikki says this to me a lot, and if you guys are going to leave with anything, I think it's this. Don't let your anger become violence. Let your anger become change. Do something about it.
Yep. Anger is a gift.
Anger is a gift. And if nothing from this podcast but to allow other men and women to see just how dangerous men really are. Maybe somewhere someone will listen. And just so you know, there have been a multitude of people who are prominent members within Alaska's legislation to say that they're going to do things, right? Since this, which ended in 2017, it's now 2026, have said that they're going to change laws that jerking off on someone should be illegal. Have they changed the laws? No, chat. No, they haven't. The laws remain the same. The laws remain the same around the world. So, women, when you tuck your children in, women and femme presenting people, mothers, fathers, when you tuck your daughters in at night, make sure you tell them that the world and men are not safe for them. The only reason that I think that this woman, in my case specifically, was able to get that license plate number is because somebody somewhere told her one day that she might encounter this issue.
I think a lot of that probably had to do with the fact too, right, with the innumerable missing and Indigenous women that we deal with in this country. So she knew.
Hint, hint.
Right. If he, yeah.
On our potential next season chat.
So she knew that she had to do something in case he came back, and she knew that she needed to hide in case she came back. And I think that that's. And I want women to take away from this the opposite of what the system is telling us, right? We need to keep telling. We need to start telling more. We need to start screaming. And the more that we do this and the more that we expose this, I think the more common it will be for women to get angry. Because I don't know about you guys, but before we started researching, I had no idea who the fuck Christopher Belter was.
I didn't know who Justin Snyder was.
I had no clue.
I think that the more that we keep screaming about this and the more that people are just aware of how like minute of a wrong move that women have to make in order for this to happen to them, the less access men will have, right? So the more hyper vigilant women are, the more aware they are, even in places like a gas station, like where you know, this woman just decided, yeah, I'm gonna let this dude give me a ride. But even if she said no, do you think he would have cared? No, he would have just taken her. So I think that the more we scream about this, the more that we talk about this, the less access men will have. We need to continue to keep speaking. Like, women didn't get rights to wear pants so that men can take them.
Right. And don't forget, simple things stop these things from happening. When your buddy tells a joke, when he says a comment. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm a child of the 80s. I grew up in the 90s, and I guarantee you everyone here has heard the joke, how many women does it take to turn or change a light bulb? Do you all remember what the punchline of that joke is? Because I sure fucking do.
But I can tell you the truth. None. We could do it with our mind.
Right? So just when you hear those jokes, when you hear innuendo, when you hear these things, the men who say that they stand with us, I want you to remember that saying something when you hear something will save someone someday.
Yeah, if you guys want to contribute to the stream, you can go to the link trees in the bio. Anything that we make, we will be splitting. Eventually, once we are prominent and we get like more people in here and we start doing this every week and we're getting into the episodes and we're looking at other places, there's some things that I want to do. I've been talking about it with MBW, when I first created MBW. I've been talking about these things for a very long time, and I had a lack of investment from the other co-founders of wanting and being able to and capable of doing these things. And now I have a good team of people who are willing to do these things, and I think that we will accomplish a lot of the things that I want to do. So I will repeat this one more time because I think this was a bar, and I don't think Nikki reacted enough. I might write a poem about it. So I'm going to repeat it again. And just in case Nikki didn't hear me, women didn't get rights to wear pants so that men can take them. And I can add unconsensually to that.
No, it was definitely a bar. It was definitely a bar. I was
Sometimes
like,
I'm a
I was
bar.
letting you have your, I was letting you have your moment.
Well, you got to react to the moment. I'm gonna play our outro and then I'm gonna end. We're gonna be out.
Welcome to the Misbehave Podcast. I'm Jess. I'm Nikki. This is season 1.
Where are they now?
Rapist edition.